In 1180 or 1181, after being with Borte for 2 or 3 years and still childless, the next great event of Temujin's young life occurred. One day, while a small band, which had gradually been gaining more and more stragglers, was camped on the Herulin River, an old serving woman named Koakchin felt the ground shaking, and she realized that a raiding party was about to attack the camp. She warned the others, fearing that the Toghrul had returned to finish off Temujin. In the hurry, everyone got onto whatever horse they could. Temujin, his brothers, Jelma, Borochu, Hulun grabbing her young daughter Temulin, all of them riding off in haste. But, as the secret history says, there was no horse for Borte. The old woman, Koakchin, hid Borte on a cart, and they began to move off, but were cornered by soldiers when the axle on the cart broke. Rather than Toghrul, they were of the Merkit tribe. They had come on a pretext of revenge for the theft of Hulun from their Merkit husband Yeke Cheludu, brother of the Merkit chief Toghrul. But this was probably just an excuse for raiding and stealing women and goods. Borte, Koakchin, and Belgutai's mother Sokagil would all be taken by the Merkit. The Merkit chased after Temujin, but he hid on Mount Burhan Haldun for 3 days, evading the hunters. After sending out to Jelma, Borochu, and Belgutai to make sure the Merkit had left, Temujin thanked Mount Burhan Haldun for protecting him. Mount Burhan Haldun, seen as closely connected to the sky and heaven, Tengri, was venerated as a holy spirit in its own right, as it still is today, and is closely tied to Temujin and his family, a holy protector Temujin would return to in moments of doubt and weakness throughout his life. Now, Temujin could very well just have taken a new life and continued to live every day in fear of raids. But Temujin decided, for the first time in his young life, he was going to strike back at those who had wronged him. So, at just under 20 years old, Temujin, alongside Khazar and Belgutai, rode to Toghrul Khan for help, effectively launching the beginning of the military career which would consume the rest of his life and spread across the face of the world. Toghrul, who seemed to have had a particular dislike of the Merkit, was touched by Temujin's plight and promised him his support, as well as the support of another young, rising military star who had come into Toghrul's radar, Jamuhka of the Jadaran. Thus, Temujin was united with his Anda and best friend, at the same time uniting with his own father's Anda. Now, despite arriving 3 days late to the meeting with Jamuhka, the operation went off well. Toghrul and Jamuhka brought several thousand warriors, while Temujin brought a lot of enthusiasm. While a far cry from the later highly complex tactics of the Mongol military machine, the alliance caught the Merkit totally by surprise, and it was a complete rout rather than a battle, the Merkit fleeing as their enemy surprised them suddenly at night. The secret history of the Mongols depicts Temujin running through the chaos, calling out Borte's name, and managing to find her and the old lady Koakchin. Belgutai's mother Sokagil disappears into the woods and from history, and we never hear of her again. The campaign, though, was a total success. There was much plunder to be had for all, and everything was good, except for one thing. Borte was pregnant. Now, to save face, Mongol propaganda would say that the paternity of the child was uncertain, just as likely Temujin's as a Merkit's. But in reality, it was probably a Merkit child. But the truth cannot be known for certain now. Borte and Temujin's first son would be born in 1181 or so, although he might also have been born before he was actually rescued. It's, again, uncertain. The son's name would be Druchi, which means guest. And Druchi's uncertain paternity would have long-term consequences for the Mongol Empire. The more immediate consequences, however, were Temujin reuniting with his friend Jamuhka, cooperation with Toghrul in a military manner, and the establishment of his own military career. 3 things which would become very closely intertwined over the next few years.